Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this lovely Dragonfly phone cover. I think it came out nice and beautiful. I did different ones, and of course, as you see, I use a different button for this one. I think this one looks better with this button with it. And it has the little bead that come with it. That was cute. This is the package, how it looks when it came in. When I saw it, I said, oh, I got to use this. So I use it for this one. And this one, as you see, I actually crochet and I use the yarn for this strap. But for the strap here, I think it looks better. I prefer this one. It has an actual chain. So I like that, and it matches with the button. So that's what we're going to do in this tutorial today, is do the Dragonfly phone cover and show you the phone. And with this cover, I made it so that you could actually still keep your case, your phone case, all right? So that you could see it. And in the description below, I put the size that it matches up with. So you don't even have to take it off, because you see so many people tuck in their phone in different places, their back pockets are different places, and you could lose it. So this way, with the phone cover, and you have it that you don't even have to worry about it. You just put it in your phone cover case, and it makes it so beautiful. You don't, everything is right now, everybody has everything basically in their phone. Everything is stored there. So this will make it so much easier, all right? So that's what we're going to do in this tutorial. So I just want to show you the measurement of our phone cover before we get started. So from the top to the bottom, it's like 6.5, and across it's like 3.5, okay, inches. So that's our measurement for our phone cover when it's completed. These are supplies we're going to be using to make our phone cover. I go over them. We're going to be using the Lily Sugar and Cream. It's the medium 4, 100% cotton, and the color is rose pink. So that's our yarn. Our hook is USF 5. It's the 3.75 millimeter. We're going to be using a yarn needle and a regular sewing needle, and we're going to be using, for my strap, what I did, I got a chain, and the chain size that I have is the 86.6 inches, and it has everything in this package already. So that's what I like about it. It contains that, what we need to attach it to our, when we finish crocheting our phone cover, okay? And then we're going to be using, we just need one button, but I just want to show you the one I got. So we only need one of them. And we're going to be using the color, regular sewing thread, but I got the color to match up to our yarn. So it hides everything, makes everything look nice. I'm going to be using stitch marker, needle nose pliers, and that's what we're going to be used to open and attach it to our chain, okay? And lastly, a scissors. So these are supplies we're going to be using. So let's get started. So to make our phone cover, we're going to make it from the top down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a nice little tail to start off with before I start doing my chain, because I want to make sure I have enough when we're tucking in our ends. Everything is nice and we have enough. So this is how I do my slip knot stitch. There's many methods and ways to doing it, so please feel free in doing it the way you're comfortable. This is how I do it. I take the yarn, I drape it behind my 2 fingers, take my hook and I put it between my 2 fingers, and I pull up a loop of yarn, and I have a knot, and all I do is tighten that knot against my hook, and that's it. I'm going to do 28 chain, and the chain is yarn over and pull across, yarn over and pull across, and that's it. That's all a chain is. Yarn over and pull across, yarn over and pull across, yarn over and pull across. For this, I like to keep it a little loose when we're doing it, because we're going to come back and work into our little bars or bumps in the back of our chain. So I'll show you when we get there, but remember we have to do 28 of our chain. So I'll show you one more time. yarn over, and just pull across. And that's how you do the chain. So keep a track of how many you have, and when we finish that for 28 times, I'll meet you there. So now we completed doing our 28 chain, and that's how we look so far. So now what we're going to do is the second chain from our hook, because this will be the first chain from our hook, the second chain from our hook, this one, we're going to put 1 single crochet there. But like I said, remember, we're going to use the little bars in the back there, if you see it right there. So we're going to use those to go into, not into the front of it. Okay, so go to this back of it, and a single crochet is you just go into that chain, and then you're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. What you're going to do is yarn over one more time and then pull across those 2 loops, and that's it to do the single crochet. I'll show you another time. Go into that chain, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across 2 of them at the same time to complete it. And again, show you, go into that little bar in the back, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across, and that's it. That's how you do a single crochet. So continue working with that, and when you finish that, I'll meet you there. So it's going to be 27. So this is how we look when we completed doing our 27 single crochet to complete at the end of our chain. Okay, so that's how we look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stitch marker at the last single crochet we made, because I just want to show you when we attach it what I mean. Okay, so it makes it a little easier. So I put a stitch marker there. So now we're going to attach it, and this will complete round 1. I'll show you how to do it. So take the yarn that we're working with, make sure it goes to the top, and then make sure it's straight. It's not a big thing, but that's what I said, make sure it's just straight when we do it. It's not crooked. Okay, so we're going to connect it to the first single crochet we made right up here. So we're going to slip stitch right in there. So put your hook in there, and then just yarn over. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull straight across the loops that we have on our hook. Right there. There you go. So, and give it a nice little snug. Make sure everything is nice and tight. And that's our slip stitch. So that's the completion of round 1. And that's how you look. Okay, so we're going to start round 2. So to start round 2, you're going to chain 1. And that is going to be considered a stitch. So I'm going to put another stitch marker there. I'll show you why when we come back to it. A different color, of course, to keep it different. And so that stitch, we put that single crochet, and that's considered a stitch. We won't go there. We go to the following one right there. And what we're going to do is just put a single crochet right there. So we're going to put a single crochet around all our stitches from round 1. So when you complete that for round 2, you should still have your 27 single crochet. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Put 1 single crochet around. When you finish that, I'll meet you there. Okay, I have 1 more stitch to do to complete round 2. And see, that's why I tell you to put that stitch there, the last one, because you have different things going on up here. You don't know where specifically to put your stitch, so it's just a reminder. So take out that first stitch marker and put your last single crochet right there, and that's it. And that's the completion of round 2. But we're going to join it. I'll show you how to join it. Before we join it, I just wanted to show you too how you could count it to make sure you have the 27, because remember the stitch marker I put here was into that chain 1 space, and we count that as a stitch. So that will be 1. And the next stitch will be here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then continue going and make sure you have your 27 by the time you get back here. So now to complete round 2, where we have our stitch marker, we're going to put a slip stitch right there. Because we're joining it, slip stitches, again, just go into that stitch. Then you're going to pull up a loop and pull straight across. There you go. That's your slip stitch. And then what we're going to do now is chain 2. 1, 2. Chain 2 is to start our new round, and that would be round 3. So what I'm going to do, and also to help you so you could come back, because remember we'll consider the chain 2 space as a stitch now. So put the stitch marker up there. If you can remember, absolutely fine, but put it there and so you can find it when I'm talking about it. Put it on top of the chain 2, okay? And that's our first double crochet made for round 3. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it, and now that first stitch right there, we're going to put our first made double crochet, because the chain, although it's considered our first double crochet for the row, we didn't make it. I'll show you how to make it. Yarn over, go into that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across the first 2, yarn over one more time, and you're going to pull across those 2 loops you have remaining, and that's to complete the double crochet. I'll show you again. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull across the first 2, and then yarn over, and you're going to pull straight across the remaining 2 to complete it. That's it. One more time I'll show you. Yarn over before you go into your next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull across the first 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull across those 2, and that's it. So that's how you do the double crochet. So continue doing that till you get back to the stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do. And remember, we're not increasing, so you're always going to have your 27 stitches to make sure. All right, if you drop a stitch or add a stitch, make sure you have your 27. We complete that. We have our 27 double crochet. So here to start round 4 now, take out your stitch marker, and you're going to just slip stitch into there because we're joining it. There you go. And then to start round 4, you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Put back in my stitch marker. Okay, and now remember, turn, and then where we slip stitch, you're not going to put that, it looks like a stitch right there, don't go there, remember, but go here, because this is considered a first double crochet for that row. So now for row 4 and row 5, so that's 2 rows, you're going to do the exact same thing we just did, and that's to put 1 double crochet around. Remember, you join at the end, and then you're going to chain 2 and turn your work so that you could start the other row. So do that, and when you finish that, I'll meet you at where we're going to join round 5. Okay, so we finished row 5, and this is how we look. And now we're going to join it to complete that round right there. So remember, it's just a slip stitch. There you go.
Now to start round 6,
chain 2, 1, 2. Remember, I'm going to put back my stitch marker there, so let me put it back in. Okay, turn, and now for the first 5 stitch, so it will be here, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to put 1 double crochet. When you finish that, I'll meet you there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip that stitch right there, and then we're going to go to the next stitch over right here, and we're going to put 1 double crochet, and then for the following 12 stitches we're going to put 1 double crochet. So go ahead and do that for 12 more times because we need 13. So this will be our first one, so 12 more, and I'll meet you there. So here you could count the posts so you know how many you have. The post of our stitch, it's right here, so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the last one right here, 13. Now we complete doing our 13 double crochet. So what you're going to do now is chain 1, and then you're going to skip that stitch right here and go to the next one, and you're going to put a double crochet right there. And the remaining stitches that we have before we get back to our marker, you're going to be 6 of our double crochet we have to do. So that was 1. So you're going to put 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you stop right here. Okay, see how it looks right there. You're going to do 6, so 5 more to do, and when you finish that, I'll meet you when we're going to join. So we're going to complete round 6 by joining it. So take out our stitch marker and join it right there, slip stitch, and that's the completion of round 6. And remember, we have our 27 stitches. To start round 7, you're going to chain your 2, 1, 2. I'm going to put back my stitch marker, and then we're going to turn our work, and this is to start round 7. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet into the first 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and that's to start round 7. Now what we're going to do, because we complete doing that 3 double crochet, you're going to chain 7. 1, 2. Now we complete doing our 7 chain. So now we're going to skip 7 stitches, and when we skip the stitches, it will include our chain 1 from the previous row. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to attach it here, and to attach it, and we're doing the double crochet, so you're just going to yarn over and go into that stitch right there and just pull up a loop and do the regular double crochet. That's all. So that's it. So make sure you do 7 chain and you skip 7 stitches, including the chain 1 space from the previous row. Remaining 6 stitches, you're going to put 1 double crochet, because this will be 1 we did already, so we wanted 7. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So continue doing 1 double crochet, and when you finish that, I'll meet you there. We did that for 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 double crochet. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2. Okay, so we did our 7 chains. So now we're going to skip 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, we're skipping also the chain 1 space from the previous row, and attach it right here. And then we have 1 more stitch to do for this round, so you're just going to put a double crochet right there. And that's it for how we look so far for round 7. And we're going to join it, of course. So that's the completion of round 7. So round 8, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and of course I'm going to put in back my stitch marker, and then I'm going to turn my work. So now for the first 2 stitches we have right there, we're just going to put 1 double crochet. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to go, and you see where we had our made chain 1 space from row 6, we're going to go and put a single crochet right into that chain 1 space from row 6. Okay, so we're going to work over round 7, and the single crochet is just go into that chain space right in the middle there, and then you're going to pull up a loop, and then you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull across 2 of them to complete. That's a single crochet. And now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start here at our first stitch, not our chain space, okay, from what we did from round 7. So you're going to double crochet into that first stitch right here. So that's 1. And now for the remaining 6 stitches, you're going to put 1 double crochet, because that's 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you finish that, I'll meet you there. So we put 7 single crochet into our next 7 stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So like we did before, we're going to go find where row 6 that chain 1 space was, and we're just going to put a single crochet right in there. Remember, you're working over the chain 7 from round 7, and you know how to do a single crochet, and just pull across. That's it. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and remember, you're going to attach it where our, not on our chain spaces, but where our stitch starts, the double crochet, and then you're going to do that 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So I went ahead and completed round 8 by doing our last 3 double crochet, and I joined it already. So that's the completion of round 8. To start round 9, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, put my stitch marker back in, then I'm going to turn my work. And now for round 9, we're going to use our chain space to also be the stitch now, because we're going to work in them. So you're going to put a a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and we're going to use the back little bars, little bumps if you want to. So we should do 6 double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit how to do them. Well, we did them in the start, but when I get there, I'll show you again. Okay, so I did the regular 3 double crochet. When I mean regular, it's because it's easy to do. So now you're going to do the chain and use the little bars in the back, remember? And then just go in there, open it up, and that's just do your regular double crochet. Okay, that's it. So do that 2 more times, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now we did those 6 double crochet. So here where we did the single crochet, we're gonna chain 1 and we're gonna skip that, and now we're gonna do basically the same thing that we just did. We're just gonna use the chain space and the remaining of our stitch till we get over here. So that will be 13 stitches we're going to use to do the double crochet. All right, so when you do that for 13 times, I'll meet you there. So remember to use the chain space, also counts as a stitch. Okay, so we did that. So you're going to do, remember you use the chain 3 space, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 so far. So now what will give us our 13 is when we use the additional little chain 3 here. Okay, so go ahead and use them, and that will give you your 13. So now we did that. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip, remember, that single crochet we did from when we pull it up together, attach it, okay, to shape out our dragonfly. Yay, coming out nice. So now moving on, we're going to use the remaining chain and the remaining 2 double crochet we have to complete round 9. So go ahead and do that, and I'm going to join it too. Okay, so that will complete round 9. So to complete round 9, we did the following chain, we used them, and then a double crochet, so it's 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet to finish that row, that round, excuse me. And then of course I joined it with the slip stitch. So now we're going to start round 10. Okay, to start round 10, we're going to chain our 2. And I'm going to put my stitch marker back in, and I'm going to turn it. And this is to start round 10. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put 5 double crochet. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to chain 1 and skip the chain 1 space from the previous row. And that's where we're going to start for round 10. Okay, so we did that, and then we chain 1. Now we skip in the chain 1 space from the previous row, and we're just going to continue on doing our double crochet. So you're going to do that, show you, you're going to do that for 13 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you're going to do the same thing we just did. You're going to chain one, you skip this chain space, and you go in here, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochet. And when you finish that, you go ahead and join it. I'm not going to show you the rest. I'll meet you when we join up, okay? Complete round 10. But I just want to show you how it looks so far. Our dragonfly design. I think it came out really nice. I think it looks wonderful. Looks really good, really good. Completed round 10, and this is how we look. Like I said, I wasn't going to show you, but now to start round 11, of course, we're going to start off with the chain 2. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker there. Put my stitch marker there. So now we're going to turn, and now we're going to do basically the same thing we've been doing for round 9. We're going to do for round 11, and that's with the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. We're just going to put 1 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 and skip that stitch. So let's start that, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we did those 6 double crochet. So you're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet the remaining stitch till we get to our chain 1 space from the previous row, and we're going to chain 1 again. We're going to skip this stitch, and then you're going to continue putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, and then when you finish that, I'll meet you back at our stitch marker. Okay, so I won't show you how to do that. The same thing, so just follow the pattern that we did. Just keep on putting the double crochet where we have the double crochet, and skip that space that we have by chaining the 1. So we completed round 11 we started off by putting 6 double crochet, then we chained the 1, and we skipped that space, and then we did 13 double crochet till we get to the next where we do our chain 1, and we skip that stitch, and then we do 5 double crochet. So that's the completion of round 11. I already started to do round 12 because round 12 we start off with our chain 2, and I joined it. So I won't show you how to do round 12 and round 13. All you're going to do is the same thing we did, but of course you're going to keep a track of how many you start off with, because you want to make sure you turn it. So when you turn it, since we started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now when you turn it, you're going to have that same 6 that you're going to start off with, and then when you finish, you're going to end off with your 5, if you understand what I mean, okay? But just turn, keep your pattern. So that will be for round 12 and 13. We're doing the same thing, and when you finish round 13, joining it, I'll meet you there. Made it up to round 13, and for round 12, we repeated round 10, and then for round 13, we repeated round 9. And then we kept the pattern. So that's how it looks. So we did it. And of course I joined already. So that's the completion of round 13, and that's how we have it. So now we're going to start round 14. So to start round 14, you're going to chain your 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to put my stitch marker back there. So I did the chain 2, and I put my stitch marker there. So we're going to turn our work. So now for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, we're just going to put 1 double crochet. I did that. I did the 5 double crochet. So now the chain 1 space that we had from row 13, what we're going to do, we're going to go in there, and we're using, remember, the back little bar of our chain, and then you're going to double crochet there. Okay, so double crochet, of course, you yarn over before you go into your stitch, and that's it. So now what you're going to do for row 14 to complete it, you're going to just put 1 double crochet around, and remember, also use the chain space because we consider that a stitch. Work through that, and then you're going to do that for row 14 and row 15. All you're going to do is just put 1 double crochet around, and when you get back to joining at the completion of round 15, I'll meet you there. So this is how we look when we completed round 14 and 15. Okay, by putting in the 1 double crochet in each of our stitch. So we have our 27 stitches because we're not increasing or decreasing. So now to start round 16. So to start round 16, we're going to chain 1, put my stitch marker there. I'm going to turn, and starting round 16, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, and the single crochet is go into that stitch, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across. That's it. All right, so do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and that will be for round 16. And when you get to your last stitch, I'll meet you there. I'll show you what to do next. Don't join, okay? So we made it around, and we put our last single crochet in our last stitch to do. So now I'm going to pull up so I don't lose my spot, because what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our cover, our foam cover, inside out so that we could close up the bottom of our cover. Okay, so go ahead and turn it inside out, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I turn it inside out. So now where our stitch marker is at, we're going to close it up. We're going to put a slip stitch there. Okay, yes, I know your yarn is like hanging from there. It's fine. When we cut it off, it's going to work itself out. So go ahead and put a slip stitch right there to close it up. And there you go now. So what I'm doing is just going to pull up so that I have enough. That's all I'm doing, so I could work with it better. Okay, just so you know. So now, of course, we took out a stitch marker. We don't have to put it back in because we're closing up the bottom of it now. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to use each of our single crochet when we lay it flat against each other. We're going to just slip stitch down the end, okay? And make sure you go through 2 of them. So it's like you're going through one side and the other side of that single crochet that we made from round 16, and you're just going to slip stitch down the end. So you're going to use 13 slip stitches to close it up. All right, that's all we're going to do. And then when you finish that, I'll show you what to do next. I just wanted to show you too, when we get to do the last stitches to close it up, the slip stitch, our yarn is like there. That's fine, don't worry about it, because all we're going to do is cut it off and it will work. I'll show you. There you go. So we're going to fasten off now. So we're going to chain 1 and then just give it a little tail, enough to tuck in, and then I'm going to cut it off, grab my scissors and cut it off, and I'll show you what to do next. So this is how we look when we cut off our tail. Leave it on the wrong side, okay? Don't flip it over. I'm going to do that because we need to make the button loop area, and we're going to sew it on while it's on the wrong side. So put that to the side. So now we're going to chain 16, but before we chain the 16, leave about a 5-inch tail, because we're going to use that tail to sew on to our foam cover, okay? So let's do 16 chain. So you know how to do the chain, so just do 16, and when you do the 16, I'll show you what to do next. So we did our 16 chain, and that's it. So all you're going to do is give it another, on this side, also like 5 inches. More than enough, 5 inches, right? But we're going to use it again, the tail, to sew on. So I like to use, you know, to have enough. So cut it off, and then we're just going to sew it on. So go ahead and choose whatever side you want to say. If this is the back for your, to put the button loop, or this is the back for the button loop, it's all up to you for that part, okay? Just choose it. But I got my yarn needle and I attached my yarn. So all we're going to do is just going to start sewing. And then just going to give it the top stitches of our foam cover. I'm just going to attach it, and that's all you're going to do. I'm just going to go back, forth, and I'll say, if anything, the regular sewing method, and that's all I'm going to do to attach it. So we did it a couple times, make sure it's nice and secure. So now we're going to just hide it and weave it in, and then we could cut it off. So you're going to do the exact same thing for the other one, but I'll show you a little bit more. But let me just show you how I hide it. Go underneath the stitches. And that's it. So I'm going to cut this off now, and we're good. So now to attach the next piece, what I did with, like, eyeball it to the where our dragonfly is to center it. So I go over like 1 stitch over, and then I attach it. So the same thing I did for the other one, I'm going to do just in and out, sewing, and that's it. So this is how I look when I attach it. I'm going to flip it soon inside so you get to see it better, okay? But what I want to show you, since we have it on the wrong side, we could go ahead and we also could tuck in our tails that we have, all right? Remember I told you at the front to leave, when we first started, leave a nice tail, because we have that little opening right there when we started. So we're just going to go right there to the side, and we're going to pull it so we could close it up. There you go. Nice. Now we're going to go over. So we're closing it up, okay? And then all you're doing is going to weave it inside now. So that's how we look. I'm going to tuck it in, cut it off. So now what we're going to do, we're going to turn it on the right side. So turn it inside when we make it go on the right side. So this is how we look, the bottom. We turn it on the wrong side and sew it up, but we're the right side now. So that's the right side look. I think it came out pretty nice, pretty nice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sew on the button to match up to our loop that we made, okay, our button loop. So we're going to center it. So you're going to grab the button and your sewing needle with the sewing thread to match the color of our yarn. And we're just going to do the regular sewing method, and we're going to sew it on. So all we're going to do is eyeball it to make sure we have the length and desire we want, so that our button could hold on and our button loop matches, and center it up, and we're going to sew it on. I'm going to start off, looks nice there. So I'm going to sew it right here. So what I'm going to do, because I have my thread and my needle together already, I put 2 knots on the end, and all I'm going to do is come through the front, because then I could hide. I want the tail to hide. I don't want it to show inside. It's just my preference of why I'm going to do it, okay? Because I could come back and I could cut this off. It doesn't show. And then come out to the back to the front. And now I put the button on. And that's it. I'm just going to sew it on. Okay, I think I did enough as I wanted to to back and forth, sewing it. So it's nice and secure. Do enough as much as you feel it's nice and secure. Gonna give it a couple of knots. Now what I'm going to do with the thread, I'm going to go inside of our yarn, and then I'm going to hide this tail because I don't want it to show. So I'm going to go in underneath the stitches and pull it, and then I'm going to grab my scissors, cut it off, and there you go. See my little tail I have in the front? Just gonna cut it because it's nice and secure now. There you go. So that's it. That's how we look. So now our last piece to do is we're gonna attach the chain. So go ahead and take it out, take off the staples and take the little pieces out of the bag. And we're going to move on to attaching our chain. So for my chain, I'm going to adjust it because it's longer than I would like it to be. So go ahead and use your needle nose pliers and you just pull it apart and they open up, and then you could adjust it to the size you want, okay? Like that. There you go. All right, and then you could take off as much as you need to. So, you know, I adjusted the chain to be like 51 inches for me. That's how I like it, because I'm going to use it, the phone cover, as a crossover. My crossover bag. That's how I'm going to use it when I put my phone in it. So I'm going to show you how to do one, because here is the little loop, the little chain loop. You could go ahead and do the other side exactly alike. You just pull it apart. Okay, so now attach it to the chain, and then we grab the other little part. Call it the lobster. It looks like a little lobster claw, right? So we put that together, and all we're going to do is just close up now the loop, the chain loop, to hold everything together. That's why I say I like this package. It comes with everything in it already. Makes it so much easier. No worrying what size or how it's going to fit. So just go ahead and close it up and do the other side the exact same way, and I'll meet you there. So we did that. We did 2 of them exactly alike. I think it looks pretty good. We did a good job with it. So all you're going to do is just open it up, and then the stitches to the side, you're just going to attach it. That's it. Go ahead and do the other side the exact same way. So that's it. That's how we put on to the side. I went through, grab up as much stitches as I can so it's nice and secure in the holes. And that's it. We're finished. We did great work. I love the dragonfly look. Came out pretty nice, our phone cover. So thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think. I hope you had fun making our cover as much as I did. Take care. Bye bye.